Hola, it's August the 28th, 2020. I'm Ramon Martinez from La Raza Historical Society, and today I'm at La Casa Grande, the museum of the Almaden Quicksilver Company that operated here in Almaden area of San Jose in the 1850s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. And this was a mercury mine, and the Raza was here. We lived in a part of this area called Spanishtown. It was a segregated part of where the Mexicans or Spanish, or what they used to call us Chilenos of that time, lived in Spanishtown. So look up Almaden Quicksilver Park in Santa Clara County, and you'll find out a lot more of the story of this mine and the story of the people that lived in Spanishtown. And this is a museum out here in South San Jose off of Almaden Road. This is the new Almaden Quicksilver Mine, just outside of San Jose. The story is when the Mexicanos were in charge of San Jose, the 1820, that's when the Mexicans took over from the Spanish in California. But the Mexicans in San Jose some of the officers of the Mexican army here were Andres Castillero was one of them. And Castillero was a trained mineralogist. You know, he was a mining engineer. And the Native Americans here, the Olonis, they used to get their red paint from a substance here at this park. So Castillero was trained in the mines of Sonora. He identified it, and he knew that that was quicksilver. It was mercury. In the 1840s, he put in for a patent with Antonio Sunol. Sunol was one of the leading big shots of San Jose, Niles Canyon, all that area. He owned a lot of property. They got a deed from the Mexican government for this mine. So they started working, Chaboya and Antonio Suñol were partners who started working in the mine in 1824. And when the Americans took over California in 1848, they put claims in on this mine. And an American company that had been working in, actually a British company that had been working in Mexico, bought this, bought the rights to this mine. So The ownership of the mine was fought in the courts, and the basics were that one of the people involved with this mine was a friend of one of the members of Abraham Lincoln's cabinet. So Abraham Lincoln himself signed the government order that said this mine belonged to the Americans. So if you go to the net, look up the Almaden Quicksilver mine, look up the legal case, and you'll find out more about how Abraham Lincoln is connected to us here in San Jose in Santa Clara County. Site of the first mining in California. Here along Arroyo de los Alamitos Creek in 1824, Luis Chaboya and Antonio Suñol first worked new Almaden ore in an arrastra. In constant production since 1845, more than 1 million flasks of quicksilver, valued in excess of $50 million, have been produced. This is a California historic landmark, and it was placed here in cooperation with the California pioneers of Santa Clara County. This is the corner of Almaden Road and Almaden Way. Also here is a monument to Patrick Tillman. And he lived in New Almaden most of his life, and he was a football player, and he died in Afghanistan, I believe. Ultimately, I think it was found that it was from friendly fire. In other words, our own troops fired on him. Obviously an accident, but for a long time the information was withheld till they finally got to the bottom of the story. So we're on Almaden Road, and this is the village of Almaden that's been here since the days of mining in the 1840s and 50s. So there's a mix of new homes and old ones. Many of these little tiny old homes are where the miners lived. And so there were some Mexicans. There were plenty of Mexicans working in the mines, but I'm not sure how many actually got to own any property. So some of these homes, if you peel the cement off of them, you're going to surely find adobe houses. Here's one right here. Here we see La Casa Grande. This was the American Mining Company headquarters, residence kind of thing, back in the 1800s. All this is administered by the Santa Clara County Parks Department. So one day we will, let's hope to have a conference with the Parks Department to find out more about the untold story about the people who lived here in Spanishtown. The Spanishtown is, when you come and tour the park, you can see the hill where it was. But that was really the segregated place where the Mexican miners lived. And it wasn't the best of the land. They had to pay certain fees to live in the homes. The homes had no water or facilities. And you'll hear a lot of stories about the Almaden Company itself and the wonders of things like this, the old school and all that. But Mexicans from Spanishtown did not attend those schools. But there's a lot of material around about Spanishtown. So look for it on the internet. Spanishtown at New Almaden Quicksilver Mines. You'll find out a little bit more about the people of Spanishtown. So the Casa Grande today has a museum where you can see lots of the objects that are related to the history of this Quicksilver mine and this Almaden community.